Morning, Rabbi. So we're going to start with two shilas of today, and then we'll try to answer some of those shilas in the coming days. Be'ezus Hashem Yisbarach. Shaila number one. Rabbi says shaila number one. There was a guy. There's a Maisa Shahoya, by the way. La Aleinu such a Maisa. La Aleinu La Aleichem such a Maisa. Terrible Maisa. Terrible Maisa. True Maisa. A guy was walking on the street. And he was innocently walking down the road. There was houses there, whatever. Baruch Hashem, everything seemed to be well and healthy. And then, all of a sudden, he hears in the background, Shabbos! So he thinks, what's going on over here? What? We'll get to shave of him. Don't worry, guys. We'll get to shave of him. We'll get to shave of him. Al Kaponim. So he thought maybe there's a car driving past or something. So he looks around. So he says, I don't see a car. What's the guy screaming Shabbos for? So he thinks, okay, I don't know, maybe something happened, something on a different street. Maybe I heard it, whatever. Fine. Continues walking, and he hears it again. Shabbos. He's like, what? He looks around. He sees a guy pointing at him. He's like, me? What am I doing? I'm not doing anything wrong. So the guy screams at him and says, there's a video camera outside the house that you're walking right in front of it. He's like, what do you want from me? I'm walking innocently by the house. What do I know anything about what's going on inside the house with a video camera? So he wanted to know, he called me after Shabbos, he wants to know, Halacha L'Maisa, Menachem, are you allowed to walk in a place where there is a video camera, where they have the screen on, and somebody's watching you? That is Shaila number one. Shaila number two, Maisa Shahoya, Rabbi say. La Aleinu such a Maisa. Terrible Maisa. It was snowing in America. Beautiful, geshmak, fresh snow. We daven Be'ez Hashem. We'll have a geshmak, a day of snow here in Yerushalayim, Mir HaKodesh, Be'ez Hashem. Don't worry, by the way, yeshiva continues, yeah? Don't think there's no vacation. Yeshiva continues. Regular yeshiva, Baruch Hashem. Okay, so the guy wants to know how it follows, Rabbi say, Maisa Shaya, okay? So he's got a beautiful fresh blanket of snow outside his house, the neighbor's house, his neighbor's house, beautiful. Problem is, Azoy, his neighbor went away for Shabbos. Now he knows that in the area, there are ganovim driving around to see who's home, who's not home. They see if the lights are on, they walk around to see who's coming in, who's coming out of their house. They check out the matzav to see whether or not this is a house that we should break into or we shouldn't. So his shaila is like this. I know that my neighbor is away for Shabbos, which means that the fresh blanket of snow that's going to be in front of his pathway is going to be fresh. Now, when the Ganovim drive past, they can pretty much see that every other house has got footsteps in it, going backwards and forwards, in the house, out the house, so that they realize obviously someone's there. But there's one house on the street that is fresh snow. So they're going to know immediately that there's no one in that house, and chances are they're going to break into that home. So his shaila was that he asked, is he allowed to go with his shoes on Shabbos and bedafka step on the snow, even though it could be on the bottom of his shoe there's letters, there's shapes, all sorts of things. Is he allowed to bedafka step on the snow in order so that they walk up to the path, up to the door, and then walk back, and this way they go over and we'll walk past, and they'll see that, obviously versteht sich, someone's over there. Shabbos Kodesh, is he allowed or is he not allowed to do that? So those are the two shilas that we have to answer amongst many shilas. What I'd like to do, Rabbi said with the Olam, is I'd like to go through the halachas, which we haven't done for a long time, over here of Hilchos Kosev, of writing. Now most people, you tell them, do you write on Shabbos? No, I don't write on Shabbos. I need to learn Boira. That I need to know. I need to know Hilchos Muktzah. I need to know Bishul. I need to know Sheikh Hazara Hatmana. I need to know Hilchos Refuah. Like, those are the main ones. Those ones are Nageya to me. Kosev, I don't write on Shabbos. It's not Nageya to me. I don't need to learn Hilchos Kosev. You open up Simon Shin Mem, you're like, Kosev. No, I don't need to learn Kosev. I don't write on Shabbos. I'm good. The answer is, little do we realize the small things that we may be doing, we could be over on the Issa, whether it's a Dorais or the Rabbanim, we'll get to, of the halachas of Ksiva, of the Melacha of Kosev. For example, Again, I'm not going to go through the shaylas right now, just to give you a little bit of an example, and we'll start with the Hagdama today, and then Be'ez Hashem, the next coming few days, we'll try to get to the actual halachas, some practical halacha lemaisa shaylas, but these are shaylas that are nageya every single Shabbos. For example, games. People play games on Shabbos, right? So long Friday night, people like get the games out, Gavaldi, you play with the kids. For example, Scrabble. Are you allowed to play Scrabble on Shabbos Kodesh? Or are you making words, which is of course a shayla of ksiva? Or for example, they have puzzles. Puzzles could be another shayla. By the way, Kosev doesn't only mean letters, doesn't only mean words, it can also mean pictures. Very good, right? When you have a puzzle and you put together the puzzle and the picture forms, is that a problem or not? Is there enough gemina? What type of puzzle or the age of the person playing the puzzle? Cheski has a shayla. What happens if you have a hoodie that has the zip up and you have words going along it? Right? Are you allowed to open and close the hoodie? Or for example, by the way, they have this in certain shuls. I don't know if you've ever seen this before. They have a paroiches that they have the string, and as you pull the string, and it opens up in the middle like this, bang smack in the middle. So the question is, am I allowed to get psicha if I know that by opening it, it's going to separate? Here we're okay, but over here, I'm separating stuff like that. They have cake, for example, right? They make cake. Happy birthday, George. Kavaldik. Am I allowed to cut that cake or not? Am I allowed to cut the cake or not? That's the kasha. Or they have cookies, for example. At the back of the cookies is like letters. For example, which one? The lotus ones, right? The lotus cookies have the word lotus. They do, right? They have lotus on it, right? So are you allowed to eat a lotus cookie on Shabbos Kodesh, or you're over on the Issa of Moichek, which is of course the opposite of Kosev, which is of course erasing, right? Security cameras and the like. What's the din over there? All of the Rabbi said the shaylas go on and on and on, of course apart from the shaylas that we mentioned in the beginning, which are very negeh. So Rabbi say, we're going to start now Kosev. There are many shaylas, halacha lemaisa, which are very practical, and it's important for the olim to know where everything comes from. As the olim knows, we always try to start with the Melacha, the beginning, how it all began in the Mishkan, and then we'll move on to some of the shaylas, halacha lemaisa, after we discuss the Hagdoras ha-Melacha. So let's begin. This is the 32nd Melacha out of 39. So this is number 32. It's the Melacha of Kosev. We all know that in the Mishkan, they had 48 planks of wood, that's a shittim, and because they had to travel all the time, they had to take apart and reconstruct the Mishkan in every single place that they were instructed by Hashem to go and be in. So because of that, they had to go along and take apart the planks of wood, and they had to put them back together. Right? Not going into it right now. There's a famous Magen Avram, it's based on Yerushalmi, of course, that the same planks of wood have to be in exactly the same place. You can't just randomly put them there. Okay, they have to be in the same place. In fact, Yerushalmi brings this down as a raya, and the Magen Avram brings it in the beginning of Orach Chaim. That's why people have an Torah on their talis. Why do you have an Torah on your talis? The reason is not only because it looks nice, and that could also be, even though the Aruch HaShulchan has a whole mahalach, Chabad have their shita about it. But al kaponim, the general halacha is, look at the Magen Avram B'Shem Yerushalmi, is the two tzitzis that are in the front should always be in the front. This way, if you don't have an Torah, you don't remember which way round it goes, of a talis for sure. It's not like a talis cotton where sometimes you can see the mahalach of the circle or the slit, whatever. Talking about a talis godel, you don't know which direction. So therefore, every day you'll put it in a different way. Zuk Yerushalmi, Al-Pi, the Mishkan, what we're learning over here, the same two tzitzis have go in the front, always have to be in the front. But maybe you put in that Torah, and you know where the head is, and then you know how to put the tzitzis. Which means, according to that, in the time of the Mishkan, they needed to know which pieces of wood to place in which place. So what they did was ksiva. They did kosev. They wrote on each plank of wood, similar to what you see on sukkah boards. Right, on sukkah boards, they'll sometimes write Aleph, Beis, Gimel, whatever, 1, 2, 3, whatever. And this way they know where to put the sukkah boards in exactly the same place, and it fits in beautifully. Here it was a halachic thing. They had to make sure the same planks of wood were in exactly the same place. So that is the Melacha of ksiva. Which means the Melacha of Ksiva means that I'm giving over information, which is why it's not only a letter per se, it can also be a picture. People don't chap that if you take something like a napkin and you make it into a fancy picture, you make it into a 3D shape. We'll talk about it, we'll get to a Chai Adam by Hilchos Pesach. There's a lot to discuss, Rabbi say. It could be a major shayla of Ksiva. Or for example, playing Lego. Right? I don't know the halachas of playing Lego legabe boina. Let's say it's okay. Let's say there's no problem with Baina. I have no idea. When we get to Baina, we'll discuss Baina. But what about Ksiva? What about when you make something that says over information? That's called Kosev. And therefore it doesn't have to only be letters, but it can be pictures as well, which would be the Issa of Ksiva in that case. So the Mishnah tells us in Shabbos Kuf Gimel Nomad Aleph, the Melacha of Ksiva means to write any number, letter, symbol, or sign in any language and any method is included in that case. Of course, it has to be a minimum of 2 letters. That we're not going to go into at this moment of time. But in order to mention some of the halachos, we have to understand the following. There are 2 conditions that make Ksiva into a doraisa. Number 1, it has to be done on something that is miskayim, and meaning it lasts. And also, it has to be done kederech, in the regular, normal way of writing. So, for example, the Mishnah tells us Shabbos Kuf Daled Amud Beis, which the Rambam Paskins Hilchos Shabbos Perik Yud Aleph Halacha Tes Vov, that shall only be over Ksiva midda oraisa if you write with something that lasts on something that lasts. Why? Because if it's not miskayim, if it doesn't last for a long time, then it's not a Melacha Machsheves, it's not Chashuva, it's not doimed to the Mishkan, and therefore it will not be a da'oraisa. It will, however, be a d'Rabbanan. So ksiva that does not last will not mean it's mutter. Means it's just a d'Rabbanan. And as we always say, Rabbi Isai, the d'Rabbanan fire is also very hot. So be careful. For example, Shulchan Aruch Shin Mem Siv Dalet, everybody knows, right? If you have a window that is fogged up, right? It's nice and warm in the house, it's nice and cold outside, the window can get fogged up, right? So I'm going to write on the window something on there. That is going to be an Issa D'Rabbanan. Why? Ksiva. Yeah, but it doesn't last. As soon as the weather changes or whatever, it's going to go away. Doesn't make a difference. It's Einim Miskayim, so it's a D'Rabbanan. Doesn't make it mutter in that case. We'll give other examples, Be'ezah Hashem, in that case. Even, by the way, this could be a big shayla, we'll have to get to this, taking pretzels and putting pretzels in a form of words could be a shayla of ksiva. Once again, it doesn't last, but who cares? It lasts for a little bit, and that would be ksiva midrabanan. So that would be a problem in that case over there. There's a lot to discuss, b'siyat ishmaya. Now, by the way, what does it mean that it lasts? For example, if I write with a pencil, you know how it goes. When we write with a pencil, it doesn't last forever. Eventually it fades out. So the Melacha writes in the Siman Shin Mem, if it lasts for the amount that people consider to be lasting, that people need it for, that's considered to be miskayim, which would mean, according to that, writing with a pencil would vada be d'oraisa. It would be a d'oraisa like a pen. Even though it can be erased, and sometimes it erases by itself, it's got a din of ksiva d'oraisa. Ksiva kedarka, that was the second condition. The second condition is in order for ksiva to be d'oraisa, it has to be done in the regular, normal way. Well, how do I do that? With my right hand, if I am right-handed, or with my left hand, if I'm left-handed. If a person writes with his left hand, that is a d'Rabbanan. Why? Not because he doesn't write so well. Even though the Shvisa Shabbos, I'll talk about that, but upon him, it's not what it means. It means because that's not the derech ha-melacha. Every melacha that needs to be done, that will be an Issa D'Oraisa, has to be done in the way that it was done in the Mishkan. Since they wrote in the normal way, and for me, writing means my right hand, so writing with my left hand is not the normal way. That's not how I write. I can't write that way. I'm not left-handed. If you are, of course, you're chayiv. But if you're right-handed, then writing with your right hand is chayiv. Writing with your left is going to be pot in that case. By the way, pot of of course, d'Rabbanan. By the way, writing with a computer or on your phone with the left finger, with the left hand, is not going to be a d'Rabbanan. That it's only writing specifically that we say it's a d'Rabbanan because it's not kederech. But when you write if you type with your left finger or your left hand, that does not make it a d'Rabbanan. That is considered to be kedarka in that case. By the way, there's an interesting shaila. The Taz brings this in Simulation and Base. Very interesting shaila because there's a Rosh in Saktos Psachim where the Rosh tells us, we have to give a whole show on this, by the way, because this is a great shaila. Oh, this is a gavaldik shayla. We have to give a share. Please, I'm sure, remind me to give a share on this. Does Dinei Torah apply by magic? Right? What do I mean? That means, for example, just to give you a random shayla, what would be the din if I can magically make a ball fly in the air and smash your window? Can you be mechayiv me and based in for such a thing? Right? So why am I bringing this over here? Because there's a Rosh Psachim, Taz brings it down, that when Moshe Rabbeinu wrote 13 Sifrei Torah on the day that he died. Now Moshe Rabbeinu, according to many, died on Shabbos Kodesh. So how do you write 13 Sifrei Torah on a Wednesday? I don't know. But how does Moshe Rabbeinu write a Sefer Torah on the day that he died? What about ksiva? So they answer the Stipler as a whole mahalach on this in Kilisakav and Masechta Baba Kama, that lemaisa is alidei magic, and things alidei magic, then it's not going to be a problem. So ksiva alidei magic might not be theoretically such a problem. If anybody has that shayla lalach lemaisa, you can talk to me afterwards and we'll talk about it. B'siyat Shmaya. Rabbi say there is tons and tons to discuss. Join us tomorrow for part 2. Be'ez Hashem. Have an amazing day.